Hi, in this video, I will talk about Holori cloud budgets. Cloud budgets are very important when you are managing your cloud spend. It's key for any FinOps software. Here on Holori app, once you are logged in, you can go on the left to budget. And here you will see different things. First, it starts with your actual cost, which is your total cloud cost for the given month. Then you can define multiple budget that will sum up here, and then you will have delta, that is the difference between your budget and your actual cost. Then the way it works is that you are able to create a new budget by clicking here on create new budget. Then you can specify a name. So here, let's say that I want to give a specific budget to one of my customer, and this customer is a car manufacturer and it's Toyota. So let's say Toyota. Then here I'm able to load my budget and my cost either from a view or from a filter. If you remember well the other videos, you will know that a view is a combination of multiple filters that you saved and then it made a view. But you can also decide to take directly some filters here. These filters are cumulative, so you can choose one or multiple and add them. So it can be, as you can see here, a cloud provider, a cloud account, but it can also be a tag or a virtual tag. If you're not familiar with the concept of virtual tag, I strongly advise you to look at the specific video about virtual tags, where we explain how critical it is for any FinOps software. So here, a virtual tag, to make it short, is a tag that comes on top of your cloud provider tags. It means that you can use this tag regardless of the cloud account or the cloud provider. Here, I have tagged some resources with a specific tag that is customer, tag key, and tag value is Toyota. It means that these resources are used by my customer Toyota. So then I can select it here. Customer is, and then Toyota. Okay, now I can submit it, which means that now I can define a budget for all the resources that are tagged with the virtual tag Toyota. Then I have two options. I can either define a monthly recurring budget, for example, let's say $200, but I can also define it more specifically. So if I want it to be more precise, I can define it month by month. For example, for the month of April until the month of June, I can decide that I want to put a monthly amount of $200. Then starting from July until September, I can increase it to 300, etc., etc. So I can add multiple periods, and for each period, I have a specific budget in mind. Here, for this example, let's keep it simple, and let's keep it at $200. So when it's ready, I can click on Create Budget. Okay, now you have my budget here that is listed. As you can see, you have the actual cost, which means that currently in April, we are in the middle of April, you have this total cost for my Toyota resources, so nearly $40. I have a forecasted cost for the end of the month of 73, which means that I still have a gap of $162 before exceeding my budget currently. So the expected gap at the end of the month, which is the difference between my budget and my forecasted cost, it's green because it means I won't exceed my budget. It's great. If it was not the case, if it was at risk of being exceeded, it would be red, because when it's red, it means that, okay, your budget will be exceeded and you should take actions to prevent that from happening. Soon, we'll be releasing notification features, and this notification will allow you to put some thresholds and be notified once you reach a specific threshold. For example, once you reach 80% of your budget, then you get notified by email or other means such as a Slack channel when you are reaching this threshold. Now, let's look at another type of budget. Okay, so now I can show you how it works for hierarchical budgets. Basically, these budgets are working based on the organization structure you define for your company. If you follow the cost allocation method here and cost allocation videos we did already, you will notice that and you will know that we have created a specific way for you to display your organization. We are able to mirror your structure, and that will allow you to specify budget for each element, each entity of your organization that we call segment. And I will be able to define some budget for each of these elements. Something that is important to take into account is here, when you have a warning sign, it means that there is a feature activated on your cost allocation that is called cost reverberation. What it means here is that, for example, have some resources here that are being allocated, and here it's, for example, $1,000. if you activate the cost reverberation, this $1,000 will also be replicated here and also here at the parent level. So if you have 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, here you have 3,000 and then 3,000 plus the sum of everything that is below. So it's something you must take into account when you are creating your budget, is to know if in your cost allocation you have decided that you wanted to activate this cost reverberation option. So here, let's imagine that for a specific segment, here in my org chart, I want to define a budget. So let's imagine this one, family 2, and then the segment P2. So I can click on it, and I can define a budget. As we explained previously, it can either be precise, so either be always the same, so equal, it's a monthly recurring budget, so let's say 1,000, but it could also be defined more precisely on a monthly basis. But again, let's keep it simple. Let's say 1,000. Now I simply click on Create Budget. Okay, and here you have it. So you know that for this entity, my current cost is nearly $10. My budget is 1,000. It's forecasted to be at $18 at the end of the month. So I'm far from being at risk of exceeding my budget. So I have a current gap that is green. It's great. There is no risk. Also, what you can see here, if I click on hierarchical budget, here I can find again all the budgets that I created and have information about it. So again, here P2, you see that I defined that I had a budget of 1,000 and my current cost is currently $9.38, which is great. So here with a color code, you can see if you are at risk or not of exceeding your cloud budget. Again, I can click on it here and have the information displayed, and I can edit my budget easily. Now we are back on the budget page. So if you look here, you are also able to see your budget in the past and in the future. So you are able to also anticipate what will happen next. So it's very convenient for you if you need to have a look and anticipate future budget, or also look at the back. And here in the middle of the screen, I kept it for the end. As you can see, you have a small graph. Basically, the graph is where you find all your different budget. And then for your different budget, you find the budget in purple and the actual cost in blue. So as long as your actual cost is not exceeding your budget, you're fine. Now, if you need to edit or modify a budget, you can simply click here on the right side, and then you are able to either delete it or edit it. When you edit it, you find again the information you defined, and you are able to change it easily in the software. Something you can notice here regarding your budget is that they can exceed your actual cost. It's not an issue. There is a reason behind, is that you are able to define multiple budgets. So for example, here again, I could say my customer Toyota that belongs to my Asian division in my company has a maximum budget of $200 per month. But at the same time, if I define on the other side, a specific budget for my Asian department within my company, I can perfectly do that. And that will come in addition to my Toyota budget here. So it means that some underlying resources could be part of multiple budgets. It's totally normal. It's the concept of budget, which is totally different from the cost allocation. As for the cost allocation, a resource can only be paid once. So it means that you are not allowed to double allocate a specific resource. Here on the budget, it's not an issue. You can do that. The only exception is when you talk about hierarchical budget. Since here you have a limited number of segments, etc., it won't be possible to exceed, as the cost, the underlying cost, will be the one of the segments that will be directly coming from your cost allocation. So to now be able to manage your cloud budget with Holori, keep tuned for the release of the notification that will make your budget management even better. Thank you.